Hey, welcome back to Black Smoke Chat. Hey guys, woo! Look at the bright, shifty 5D having eyes, so and so self. Holy moly! Welcome, because if you found me, that means you shifted to the 5D. So congratulations. I feel like I look like a little bear. I just look like a little grizzly bear. I'm just a cute little bear. I was posting videos and I said, I better make one. I'm gonna make a video today. I'm gonna make one. Me and my confirmation chair Connie, so she gonna be talking a lot. My lights are like going chicka 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 chicka. All right, we'll do like that. So welcome. Hey. Chair. Yesterday was basically a Willy New Year. I guess I had a Willy New Year. I watched almost everything Will Smith yesterday. They had Independence Day, they had Hancock, and they had all three MIBs, all Men in Black. And my thing was, the second one always makes me like cry. With Rosario Dawson, that character that she played, Laura. Oh, dang. And I be thinking, was Tommy Lee Jones her daddy? Because he loved her mama. I don't know, I guess not. But anyway, that one line, I think I've made a video about it before, but that one line that she's like, I can't be a princess. I don't know what you're talking about. You know, he says, no, you are. You got a whole kingdom, whole planetary system to save. You got to do that. And she's like, I'm just a waitress. I'm not what you think. I'm a Libra. I cry when I get sad. You know, I cry. Well, however it is, she said, I cry in the rain or something. She says, the rain makes everybody cry. Makes everybody sad. Tommy Lee Jones saying, baby, it's raining 'cause you sad. I said, it's like a moment of realizing your power when somebody tells you. And I think that's what we've been waiting for in life, for somebody to tell us who we are. She didn't know who she was. She just thought she was a regular old gal. She was royalty, for God's sake. And she didn't even know, you know? And it took somebody who had to regain his memory. The whole movie was about him getting his memories back because he didn't want to have the memories no more. And he basically neuralized himself over and over and was putting clues everywhere to try to piece his past back together. But when he told her, baby, this is who you are, and we need you to get off this planet and go do what you got to do, because if you ain't off this rock in like 4 minutes, we all gonna blow up, you know, kind of a thing. And I was like, we're waiting for Kay, our version of Kay, to tell us who we are or what we are. And then 3:33 on the timer. And then when we get that information or get that message, and then we act from there. Her act was she had to leave. You know, she didn't know where she was going. She put her in that pod by herself. She had to know. You know, that's a big step for somebody to drop a bomb like that on you. Whoops. Oh, gosh. Drop a bomb like that on you. You know? Sorry, I'm all bundled up with my hat and my robe. It's a little chilly in here. For me to record, I have to turn the heater off. So I'm going to keep it off until I get ready to take my bath. Because I like to have it nice and toasty. That was a trip, man. That movie was a trip. And then the third one with Griffin, the man that he could see all the different realities like at once. That's almost like a power. I don't think I would want anything like that, where I'm seeing everything all at once all the time. And I kind of feel like that sometimes. My brain is always going, but that would just be exhausting. Just exhausting to be Griff. But the ArcNet, that's what in my brain. That's what I see when I'm doing my community service. I told you how I feel. You in your meditation, you're putting energy, pulling it down, putting it into the earth, and then pull it back up from the earth and pushing it out to everybody. It's actual real technique. It's just, and I've been doing it now for quite a while. And I'm enjoying it. And I didn't think I was going to keep on doing it because I've been studying, and it said sometimes we get into, programs, or we do certain things and they can make us stuck, because I get up every morning and I meditate the same way, or I do the same thing. That can, make you almost dependent on doing that. So yesterday I took a break. I did a modified version because I was so used to doing it. I had to do it, but after learning that, I didn't want to become stuck just doing something because I'm doing it. Make it habituate. Because if it's a habit, 601 on the timer. If it's like habituated, you took that authenticity out of it. You took that because you got to have that realism in there. Before you get going what you're doing. So, oops, sorry, hang on. Sorry, my stomach was so growly. But yeah, putting the ArcNet, how Kay had to put the ArcNet on top of the rocket, and how when it went out, and you see how it covered the hole. That's what I kind of visualize when I do my community service. So I call it putting up the Lena net on the on the world. I try to touch everybody, every animal, everybody I don't like, everybody I do. It doesn't matter. I like them or don't like them. Have bad vibes, don't have bad vibes. We live on this planet, and everybody deserves to have some good energy sent to them. And I know there's a lot of people under demonic influence, and there's bad, and there's all kind of stuff. But I think that is just it. They're under an influence. And at the core of everybody, there's still that good kernel. Like in Red 1, when the Rock character, when he looked at Chris Evans and saw him talking to his kid, Jack was talking to his kid, and he was a kid too. It was like two kids were talking. So it showed him he could still see the good in everybody, and that's kind of how I think. I know there's evil, and there's people that continue to look at you, and talk about you like a dog, just to pull you down and bring you down. But I think the people doing that, there's still a good kid somewhere in there that just got lost along the way. So when I do my community service, I'm no respecter of persons. I just try to include everybody and try to send energy to everybody. You might not think like me, we might not have the same views, we might not speak the same language, but we are Earthicans on this planet. And we gotta put our energy into this place. This is like our ride. This, if you don't put no dang energy into your ride, it's not going nowhere. Confirmation chair. I believe that. 8:40 on the timer. So, that was just, one little thing that I think about is the ArcNet. And then I think about Kay knew Jay when he was like 5 years old, 4 years old. He was like 4. I don't even think he was 5. He was like 4 years old. And he neuralized him because his dad, it was wow. So it made me start thinking, since I'd seen them all in a row. Went back to the first one, and we says, boss, he ran down a cephalopod on football, so that's got to be tough enough, like that, as if he'd never heard of James before. He knew who he was. He knew he had to have been following him his whole life. He knew who that man was. He was supposed to have been in Men in Black when he was a child. And that was his legacy, I think. And Kay had his eye on him the whole time. But maybe when he was talking to Zeb, he had to pretend he didn't know. I don't know. But he knew that man since he was a baby. So I thought that was wild. So Kay really was Jay's dad and probably had to neuralize him 1,000 times to get him to where he was. You know, neuralize him and gave him another story. You were always supposed to be that. Goes back again to the second one. She was always supposed to be that. She was born that. She was always supposed to be a princess. Jay was always supposed to be an agent. You know? 1036 on the timer. I think there are things that we're supposed to do in our life, our destiny, that regardless of if we kind of veer off of it or postpone it or wait a little bit and just be like, whatever you do, the destiny I think is gonna come. If you can still make it on this rock and be on this planet and not take yourself out, I think you can achieve your destiny. That's just how I feel, you know. 11:11. I didn't pose and pause. But I don't know. I think how we feel about something, whether negative or positive, whether, you know, I believe destinies are destiny. You can, I think maybe you can modify it or you can change it, but you can't stop it. You can't stop it. They had to get her off of that planet like in minutes. They drugged it down for 25 years to the minute. We're like, we got to get you off this planet now. Kind of a thing. To the last minute, she was still a princess 25 years before that. But now it's like, so it's changed a little bit. It waited to the last minute to do what it had to do, but it didn't change who she was. It didn't change the fact she was a princess or a queen. Now she the queen. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer. So I don't know. I think that's pretty interesting. All 3 movies like that back to back. So yeah, I had a Willy day. I had a Willy New Year. But that just making me think. And then Hancock, that movie is 100% about twin flames. 100% about twin flames that cannot be around each other. Love each other, can't be around each other. And the closer they are together, the more destructive. They are basically killing each other. Sorry about that. They're basically unaliving each other by being close to each other. So for them to survive, they have to be apart. Loads apart. And that's amazing to me. But there's just one line in that movie where Will's talking about, you know, what kind of bastard must I have been that nobody didn't come to the hospital and claim me? Nobody. And I was like, dang, I don't know why that broke my heart. And he was like, you, after finding out who she was, Charlize Theron, Mary, I think that was her name, and finding out who she was to him, and he's like, you just left me there? You didn't even come to bother? She said, I was at the hospital, they gave you your surgery, and when you came out of it, or whatever, you did not know anything. And she said, I thought it would just be easier to just go, since you didn't remember me anymore, or remember anything. And I was like, oh my God. Twin flame stuff is hard. And I tell myself I'm not trying to talk about that, but that is the catalyst that got me on my journey. My heart was devastated. I was devastated. And I've been on that little journey. Literally, it started in 2016, and it will be in 2026, 10 years. 10 years from, oh, my love, oh, I hate this mofo, oh, my heart is broken, oh, I want to get out of this world, oh, I want to do it. Man, please. Y'all can't get rid of me till it's time to go. Man, heartbreak over somebody crazy. And it wasn't that. It was just, I was missing being in a relationship. I think that's all it was. And before I started dating him, I wasn't with anybody for years again, because I can go for long periods of time. And like I'm in a celibate mode. I won't date. I won't do anything. I just don't like sharing my energy like that with people. You know, yeah, I had whole days or whatever where you been out there and just be with everybody. But I never really, like, it wasn't me. It just, I didn't get anything out of it. And that's what I never understood. I said, why is this, like, it's the X, sexy, is so important. That's all everybody think about. And when they knew, like, all the essence and stuff behind it, they wouldn't be just giving their energy so willy-nilly, making all these little soul ties, these little. There's another one to sleep with. Got this one. I don't want to be connected to that many people clumped into me. I don't want that many people clumped into me. I don't. It took me a long time to get all that out of my energy. 16:33 on the timer. I had to push all that stuff out. That's what the cleansing and the elevating and all that. That's what all that is. The healing. The healing is the cleansing. You're healing yourself, but you're cleansing out all that, or purging. I guess that's the word, purging. And I was sure doing that this weekend. I was crying over everything, because I did not leave the house hardly this weekend, except like to go get some supplies or go to the corner market and get my lottery. But dude, I'm trying to say 10 years I've been on this track. And I'd always been like a spiritual person. I was like a totally Christian person. I grew up in the church. I thought I was going to be a preacher. I went to a Christian college. I did, I was just very, 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 very 3D God. Just very, instead of going more into myself, I was just regurgitating what everybody was telling, what Grandma was saying, what Brother Johnson was saying, what Sister Johnson was saying, just listening, just going with that. And I started getting like a little bit older in myself, and even church wasn't doing it for me. 1803. Church wasn't doing it for me no more. And I would go to the altar and I would just sit. Because in my church, I grew up in a small church, and we could do that altar call. You could just sit in the church. People can start going home if they want to, but you sit there until you got it prayed out. And I went to California and went to an altar call at one of these big mega churches they have out there. No heart at all, no heart in these mega churches. And that's when I started going away from the church, because it was not like my church at home. It was not like Fayetteville. It was not like home. And in LA, went to that mega church. So many Black people, so many dressed up, Richie. I could see some people with celebrity. I could see, I know you on that commercial, or you on that show, or you on that soap opera. Everybody was like somebody. Music guy, everybody. A lot of celebs, big church, mega church. And I just felt like it was no heart in his church. And the reason I say that is because I was feeling really lonely in California, and I wasn't getting my goals and my jobs, and I went out there to be an actor, and I was like, in 5 years, I had like 5 auditions, like an audition a year. It wasn't going, and I knew I had the light on me, but I was so misaligned. I was like a freaking Rubik's Cube. I was not aligned. I couldn't, one side was all yellow, but all the other colors. And then when you get the other side to be all blue, the other one. So I couldn't get all my colors to coincide, right? But I went to the altar in this big mega church. And in my church at home, you go to the altar, people come behind you, put hands on you and pray for you. You can hear them praying, and it feels so warm, and it feels so good. So I'm at the altar, and I'm just like, God help me. Maybe I should just go home. Home by this time was Tennessee. So I moved and went to college in Tennessee and ended up staying there. But I was like, maybe I should just go home. Let's go to Tennessee. Just go home. Because I was claiming Tennessee as home and not North Carolina by this time. And so I went to the altar because I was feeling sad. 2042 on the timer. I was feeling sad. I get down on my knees and I'm just praying. And I wasn't there very long at all. And I felt the hands like, oh good, I needed somebody to pray with me. That's what I needed. 2 people to agree. And I will be fine. Just let me sit at this altar and talk to God and I will be fine. The hand on that touched me wasn't to pray for me. It was like to get my attention, to say, come here and get up. And I'm like, what? I'm praying at the altar. No, get up and come on. And they walked me back. Everybody that was at the altar walked us back, like about 12 of us, I guess, into this room, like under all these corridors and all the caverns and all like down in the bottom of the church and in these little classrooms. And then they're going to get us in there and talk about like joining a church and all that. And I'm like, dude, I need to talk to God. I need to go. And because of that, I said, this church is not even the same no more. You can't even talk to God in this motherfucker. They want you to put money on the building fund and join the usher board and go in a choir. Immediately, they were trying to get us to join the church. And I was so like spiritually disgusted. I have no word for that. You're telling me you take me away from the altar at the foot of God that I grew up knowing and pull me in the back so I can sign some paperwork and join your church and pay tithes. Money is what this is. I was done. And that's when my real spiritualness started kicking in. And I was in my 30s. And it started kicking in. And I said, there's got to be more to the spirituality or to God or to than this. But yeah, I always said, man, when I went to Lee College, I thought I was going to either marry a preacher or be a preacher or become a preacher. That's what I thought. And if I would have become a preacher, I would have done a disservice to everyone because I don't think I would have been teaching anybody the truth. I just would have been regurgitating what somebody else told me instead of feeling it out for myself. But being in that church in Los Angeles, California, for them to stop me from, and I was crying and everything. I remember I was crying at the altar and they get me up and make me move, get up and go and I'm now in the back sitting at the desk wiping the tears from my eyes. I don't even know if they gave me a napkin. I might have had some tissue in my pocket. And I wiped my eyes and everything. And my pocketbook was up front. You just don't do that. Because you don't take your pocketbook to the altar. Yeah, it was still there when I got there, but that was dumb. And I didn't join. I refused. And the thing is, I didn't express how I felt, and I just held it in. All those years, I just held it in. Now y'all getting a little remnants of it now, but that's not suppressing your emotion or your feeling, like how you feel. That's not healthy because that's gonna come out in a different way. They should have let my black butt sit at that altar and pray to God, because a whole different person came out of that church when I left. And my pocketbook was sitting on the front row with everybody else's books and pocket, their Bibles, because it was my Bible and my pocketbook. Whoever else's Bible, they purse, they whatever. And they had it all sitting on the front row. So when we got out from that back room, we could just go and grab our stuff and go. I didn't talk to nobody. They called me because they had my number because I put it on the damn paper. They called me and sent me texts and all this, and I was not with that. I knew I was not with that. So for me, they took God out of church. They took Christ out of church. The mega church did, one that I went to. And it was the preacher and his wife, a duo team. And I think to me, all she cared about was being seen. And he basically cared about numbers. Oh, they had the altar. We can get them they're on that feeling, that emotion. We can get them to join the church right now. Not knowing I really, really needed to be at the altar to talk to God. See what I'm saying? Progress. They think that's progress, and that's what all those mega churches ended up doing. They took God out the church and put some other version of him in. The monetary version. I don't know. But I didn't like it, and I still don't like it. And I know it's worse now. And then when I was here in Knoxville, I went to a church last year, and I only went because I was hunting something for my mom, a Christmas gift last year. And there's a lady that at the farmer's market that I have entertainment at. This lady has her own farm, and the meat is spectacular. And my mom was wanting some ham hocks that were not smoked, because that's all you can find in the store, smoked ham hocks. She just I just want something that ain't smoked. And so this butcher lady named Miss Jody was like, I got you, I can do that for you, but you gotta come to church Sunday, and I'll bring them to church and I'll give them to you. You're gonna coerce me to go, what's that word? I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say. I can't keep thinking of the word. I got more tongues. But for me to get what I want, that you could have just gave it to me Saturday, you're making me go to church to go. What kind of mind games is this? What kind of mind games is this? So I got there and went. And she saw me, but she was just ignoring me. Because I would rather her just, hey, Jody, I'm here. Let's go to your car. Let's get this. Here's the money. And let me go. Like a drug deal. But it's a meat deal. We got to make this meat deal. But I go, and I get up in the church. And as soon as I go in the church, this is Knoxville now. This is home. They give me a bulletin. They start talking to me right away. And they send somebody to talk to me that I'm not the biggest. I'm going to start saying stuff. People say, oh, her mind is closed. My mind is not closed. But don't. Shut up, Lena. I sent somebody to talk to me. That should have been the last person to talk to me at church. So I'm like, I'm just here to see Miss Jody. She's right there. She invited me. I see her. She's right there. So I'm going to go in here and sit down. They wanted to get all my information and all just to go sit in the church. Nigga, this is my first time here, and you are really alienating me. You are really alienating me. Why are you questioning me like this? What the heck? And I had such a chip on my shoulder. I mean, church was giving me a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm praying to God as I'm in the church. I'm like, Lord, what is happening? You tell me what's happening, because I don't know. So I get in the church, and the vibe just feels weird to me. But I see Jody, and I wave at her. She don't wave back. And I'm like, does she know it's me? Usually, I guess usually I don't dress up like this, so maybe she didn't know. She knew, yeah. But it was like, no, you're gonna sit here and at this for the whole service, and then after the service, you're gonna hunt me around. I mean, that's what I felt like. I'm hunting her around, trying to find her, to keep her in my sights, so I can get the stuff and go to my car. And I just wanted to get out of there. But anyway, I walk in there, and they ain't no. There's no preacher. The preacher is on TV. I'm in the church building, this big ass church building, and there's a big TV. He had a different campus, and we looking at a TV. I said, Lord, where are you at in this scenario? I said, I can't do church no more. I said, if this is what's happening, like I'm shaking, like right now I'm fucking shaking. Because it's messing up, man. They taking God out the church, man. I'm at a darn big ass church and I'm watching a TV. So I get weepy, man. It's just like, Lord. That's why I know that light workers right now, we're needed, man. This 5D shift is real. And people are going to be sitting stuck in these churches just getting lost, more and more lost. I'm sitting, I'm going to get close to God, and I'm watching the TV. That man, the preacher man over on across town. There ain't even a vice pastor to lay hands on you. Nobody. They had the real band, loud ass music like a rock concert, and then we watched TV for the message. And I just I couldn't feel a thing. And my heart was hurting. You know, and I was like, the church used to be like my safety, my sanctuary. I was one of the people that was doors open, doors closed. I'm at church every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it changed. And I had to change with it. My thought and my ideas of God haven't changed. I still have the God in me, you know? I still feel like I have a personal relationship, but I feel like the people hunting them, or the people that are trying to divvy them out, to give the people that are giving you God ain't even giving you enough to taste. If they spoon feeding me, they only giving me a couple of granules of God and say, there you go. And you go, can I get some more? Nope. Nope. This all you get. This all we gonna give you. And that's not the way to find your salvation. That's not the way to find the God in you. To be spoon-fed little bits of granules. One Bible verse from a man on TV and a whole bunch of loud-ass songs. 33 on the timer. So it showed me that they put more emphasis and impetus on praise and worship than the message. And I think it's the message. And if I can help people get to their message, because it ain't outside of you, it's in there, it's already in there. You just have to remember it and honor the God in you. And that's how I do it. Thank you, God in me. Thank you, God in me. And I got that from Reverend Knight. Thank you, God in me. He ain't out there a man sitting on the clouds. He in there. He expresses himself through how we feel, how we live. He gets to experience life through us. So look at all these little gods running around. And people don't even know that's what they are. Choose to be evil. Choose to be, discordant. Choose to be, negative. low vibrational, anger, hate, jealousy, envy, all that. Narcissisms. I don't want any more of that. I want to find that God frequency on the inside of us. Ooh, I felt something when I said that. 3508, I felt something when I said that. That God frequency on the inside of us. And that will help us with our alignment, because when we make that decision and say, you know what, I'm going to be the best version of myself. I think that's a decision you have to make, and to become the best version of yourself, you have to get into alignment. Spiritually, mentally, emotional, physical alignment. All of that. 35:40 on the timer. I would not mean to make a video this long, just talking about my Willie New Year. My Will Smith. But even that, I like Will Smith so much. And then remember when he slapped Chris Rock on the Oscar thing, and that sent me for a loop. You know, I didn't know if that was staged but it was just such a bad look. It was just a bad look for black people, for black men, for entertainers, for celebs. I didn't like it. I did not like it. And I haven't seen no new Will Smith, but the one he got the award for, with the Venus Williams daddy, I never seen that. I haven't seen anything he's done. Nothing after a slap, right? So, and I used to watch, he was like one of my favorite actors. He was the first celebrity I ever met. Will Smith, 36 on the timer. That's the truth. He was the first celebrity I ever met. I was 19 years old. And he was still the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was that. He was a music guy. He wasn't even TV guy yet. That's right, he wasn't even Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was just the Fresh Prince. And he had a concert in Fayetteville, my hometown. And at the after set was at a club called the Spectrum. And he was there, Jazzy Jeff was there. I don't remember who else stars was there, but I was so like, like, that's Will Smith, he on MTV, you know. And no, I don't think 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. Yeah. Fresh Prince wasn't on TV yet. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, timelines. I told you I'm trying to get my timelines right. And I tell the stories and I can't get the timelines right. But no, he was still just a singer. The show hadn't started yet. And my boyfriend was a military guy named Bobby. And Bobby's like, that nigga just, he put his pants on one leg at a time like I do. What you want? You want to dance with him or something? What you want? That's what you want? I'll get that nigga down with you. Bobby went over there, and next thing I know, Will Smith came over and wanted to dance. And so I danced. Listen, I think I've told this story already on one of these things. And as he's danced with me, and I'm just like, hey, happy. And he's doing this. Like Leo. And then I found out he did an interview. And the interview, he said, well, when I don't want to be serious with people, I do something called dumb dancing. And he showed what it was. What he did on that interview was exactly how he danced with me. He was dumb dancing. He didn't want to be there and dance with me. I don't know what the hell Bobby said to him. Bobby said something. Bobby said something. And got him to come over and dance with me, and he was just, so technically what I'm saying is my first celebrity experience wasn't like, hey, how you doing? It was, I'm here because maybe your boyfriend threatened me, I don't know. So that's my story, but he was the first one, and I really liked him. You know, I thought he was like a handsome guy. But that's my first story of celeb. I've had lots of run-ins since then, you know, living in California and working at Nordstrom's and selling men's shoes. I work with celebrities, you know, doing that. getting them in the shoes. But yeah, that was pretty. My Will Smith story, 1990. 1990. Yeah, 1990. And maybe the Fresh Prince maybe came on 92, something like that. Maybe 91, I don't remember, but that was 1990, because 87, 88, 89, 90, I was 19, so it's 3 years after high school. So I remember that, yeah. 3 years after high school. And so, dumb dancing. How dare you, Willard? How dare you, Willard? But yeah, that was funny to find out that, yeah, you need to give a darn about me. You could care less. But yeah, my Willie New Year was just amazing. Just having, watching all those good movies. Independence Day, you know, talking about aliens. Men in Black, talk about aliens. Hancock, he an alien. It's just aliens. And that's just real, man. Arcturians, Syrian, Lyrian, Andromedan, Pleiadian. There's like a lot of star systems. It's like, that's aliens. It's true. It's true to life, man. It's true to life. But it's 41:30, and I totally gotta get ready and get out of the house. But I'll be back. I wanted to make a video on my bright, shifty, 5D shifty, bright eye having so-and-so self. Full of childlike wonder. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for hanging out with me. I do have a Cash App if you feel so inclined. You don't have to. I mean, it's Happiest Black Gal 10. I'm the happiest black gal. But I'll be back again and we'll talk, and I'll do a Bukata reading. I'm gonna go turn my heater on, and so I can get in the bathtub and get all pretty and smelly goody. So anyway, that's me. I'm just a little grizzly bear. Just a little grizzly bear. 42:31 on the timer. I'm gonna stop at 42:42 because that means 2 meanings of life. 42:42. Bye. I love you. Bye. Bye, guys. I'll be back.